What is a lead-based paint disclosure? And why should you care? If you're selling your home, you need these tips. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Lindsay with the Wise Move AZ team at Realty ONE Group. If you want to stay up to date on all things Anthem and real estate, then you need to hit that subscribe button. Pro tip, you're also going to want to hit the little bell icon so that you're the first to know when our new videos are posted every single Thursday. As your Anthem, Arizona realtor, I've worked with a number of families to ensure a smooth sale of their home. A lot of work goes into getting your home under contract, and one of the key pieces is the lead-based paint disclosure. Now, the lead-based paint disclosure isn't required on every sale in Arizona, but when it is very important. So stick around to find out if you need to make this important disclosure for your home. Oh, and before I forget, at the end of this video, I'll give you a copy of the lead-based paint disclosure and any other important documents, so stick with me. If you're thinking, but Lindsay, I'm buying, not selling, don't worry, we'll be covering our best buyer tips in next week's video. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you're notified when that new video is released. First things first, what is lead-based paint? Okay, I don't want to blow your mind too much, but lead-based paint is paint that contains lead. Yep. The federal definition of lead-based paint is paint that contains 0.5% lead or 5,000 milligrams of lead per kilogram of paint. Congress passed the Residential Lead-Based Paint Hazard Reduction Act of 1992, also known as Title X, to protect families from exposure to lead from paint, dust, and soil. Section 1018 of this law directed HUD and the Environmental Protection Agency to require the disclosure of known information on lead-based paint and lead-based paint hazards before the sale or lease of most housing built before 1978. So why is lead-based paint a problem? Lead-based paint is a problem because exposure to lead can cause serious health problems. Lead exposure tends to be more problematic in children. At low levels of exposure in children, it can cause nervous system and kidney damage, learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, and decreased intelligence, speech, language, and behavior problems, poor muscle coordination, decreased muscle and bone growth, and hearing damage. High levels of exposure in children can be even more severe, including seizures, unconsciousness, and in some cases, death. In adults, lead exposure can cause harm to a developing fetus, increased chance of high blood pressure during pregnancy, fertility problems in men and women, high blood pressure, digestive problems, nerve disorders, memory and concentration problems, and muscle and joint pain. Pretty scary, right? Long story short, lead is a hazard to our health, and if you're selling your home, you need to make sure that you're properly disclosing the existence of or potential for lead-based hazards in the home. When is the lead-based paint disclosure required? In Arizona, the lead-based paint disclosure is required for homes that were built prior to 1978, or if the home was built after 1978, but the seller knows or has reason to believe that lead-based paint may be present in the home. Disclosures are a very important part of selling your home, and to help with this, we've put together a whole video on the importance of disclosures and how to make them. If you're interested in watching that video, simply click in the cards for this video. So what do you need to do? The obligation to disclose the presence of or the possible presence of lead-based paint falls on the seller and their agent. If you're selling your Arizona home that was built prior to 1978, or if you suspect your home may contain lead-based paint, here are 5 things you need to do. Number 1, educate the buyer. This is easily done by giving the buyer a copy of an EPA-approved informational pamphlet on identifying and controlling lead-based paint hazards. I'll provide you with a copy of this pamphlet at the end of the video, so stick with me. Number 2, disclose. Disclose, disclose. Disclose any known information concerning lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazards. As a seller, you must disclose the location of any known lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazards and the condition of those painted surfaces. Again, this is easily done using standardized forms created by the Arizona Association of Realtors. The required form is the disclosure of information on lead-based paint and lead-based paint hazards for sales. If you need more room to write, you can include additional information in the seller property disclosure statement, or you can continue on a separate page that all parties will sign off on. The more information you can provide, the better protected you are. Trust me when I say this is not something you want to get sued for. Number 3, share. Chances are, depending on when you bought, you had to go through the lead-based paint disclosure process as a buyer when you purchased the home. Where possible, provide any records and reports on lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazards that you have. This may include any inspections you've had done or records of remediation work. Sharing is caring, and this kind of sharing is required by the federal government. Number 4, give the buyer the opportunity to investigate. As the seller, you must provide the buyer with a 10-day period to conduct a lead-based paint inspection and a risk assessment. Keep in mind that you and the buyer can mutually agree in writing to lengthen or shorten the time for inspection. Additionally, the buyer may waive this inspection opportunity. Number 5, don't stress. All of this can sound pretty heavy and even scary. While this is an important disclosure to make, my intent with this video was not to scare you. I promise. I just want to make sure that you're protected. By making these disclosures, you're mitigating the risk of getting sued. And nobody wants to get sued, right? Your realtor will help you to ensure that you're filling out all the necessary paperwork. What you really need to do is read it, understand it, and be honest. If you follow all of these steps, you'll be in great shape when it comes to selling your home. So there you have it. What do you think? Will you be required to do a lead-based paint disclosure on your home? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to receive a copy of the lead-based paint disclosure, as well as an EPA-approved informational pamphlet, simply click the link in the description box below. I know this week has been a bit heavy, but if you learned something, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this video with your friends. See you next Thursday.